Anthony for three.
I think we see Willis coming out.
Won the NBA championship.
Have the first pick in the 1985 NBA college draft.
Season ends the hands of the Chicago Bulls. Reggie Miller is tied the game.
Still, the Bulls are your world champions.
New York Knicks select Kristaps Porzingis.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, because that's what we do. We want to welcome you back to the MadGood Knicks Show. I'm here with Far, Jay in the middle, you know, the little cream in between the two Oreo. I'm the sandwich, I'm the filler. And let's sprinkle a little of the TK for you.
Show me the money.
Show me what you got, because we got
Jay,
3 wins, always. 3 wins, 2 losses in this tenure. So we started off with a win against Brooklyn, and that's just the demeanor we always carry around here.
Yeah, we beat down our little brothers, right?
Yeah, sucks to suck, Brooklyn. Either way, then we go on to OKC.
Melo.
Which we welcomed Melo back. We were actually at the game.
At 6'8" from Syracuse, number 7, Carmelo
Anthony for three. Puts it in. Knicks by 1 with 8.2 remaining.
And at forward at 6'8" from Syracuse, number 7, Carmelo Anthony.
And I have to say, it was a pleasure leaving, you know, a little bit of the Tim's sign right on the backside.
Tim's imprint. Right on the back.
Because,
that.
so, you know, Melo from the left side has showed up that night.
He
Just
did.
saying. Just saying.
Yeah, he did.
I wonder, you know, as he's putting on them glasses, who he's still seeing. I don't know about you guys. So we lead next with Charlotte.
The loss.
It was a L, and not the good kind.
Has
What
there
about
ever
that?
been a good kind of L?
That's a conversation for
Big
a
L.
different.
Another episode. There you go.
Yeah, followed by a big win against Boston, the number 1
Big
team
W.
Yeah,
in the
another one at home.
Eastern Conference. We show up for big games, and we also show up at home.
Right. Only.
Only
Then, but wait.
There's more.
is something from Detroit.
Stinky.
Yeah.
That was,
We ain't talking about
that
the
was a
water.
tough one. That was a tough one.
Motown held it down over there, and they beat us. Again, what's the pattern here, guys, that we continue to see?
Home versus road. It's incredible.
We lit at home. We lit at
Right
home.
there.
And then we're not on the road. Is that
Pretty much.
simple?
That sums it
Do-
up.
do it
Yeah,
again.
That's
Home?
pretty much.
Away.
Home.
Away.
That's it, you know?
Yeah, it's simple.
I can't explain it. I don't know if you guys have a method to all this madness, but like for me, it honestly seems like Hornacek really can't fucking coach. To be honest, let's just be that.
I don't
blunt
know,
and
because
honest here.
honestly, I think if anything, our
But then-
record alone speaks to the fact that he can coach and how
But-
much he's getting out of players. I think we just tend to
But is
show
it
up for
him?
big games.
But is it him that's getting that out of the players, or are they really excited to be
No,
in the
they're
Garden?
feeding off the Garden. They're
Right.
feeding off energy.
So what has he done?
I think it coached the players enough in terms of, hey, continue to do this, don't do that. You know,
Well,
he
okay.
continues to guide Frank down the right path. I can't say,
Okay.
you know, as time has progressed, I've seen Frank regress.
So
He's
far,
continued to
I
get better as a
want to get
player.
your take on this, but I'm saying the broader picture here, more so than like X's and O's.
Yeah.
I'm talking about having these guys prepared. So like, yeah, granted, maybe the X and O's is a little bit better this season, but on the road, they don't seem to be prepared ever. What do you
So
think?
one thing I will say is their third quarters are just as bad. And
Sure.
who's the last person to speak to them before the third quarter? It's usually the coach.
Hornacek.
So couple that with what's been going on the road, I don't want to say that Hornacek is a bad coach because they're 15-5, and that's not by accident at home. So you have to take that into account.
I do.
Moreover, I also, and I keep going back and forth here, but you could have a chimp as a coach, and he would still be better at what happened last year regarding the triangle and just running a regular offense. So
Maybe.
You never know. This team is pretty skilled.
Where's
though.
Derek Fisher when you need him?
No, Fisher can stay exactly where he's at. Inside of who's X? Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes X.
Let's
That's
recap.
not a bad place to be at.
It ain't. She was beautiful.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Anyways.
Let's recap the OKC game real quick because we got to talk about Carmelo.
Oh, you mean
Anthony.
how Melo like started off in the first half with 12 points
So
and then
put up 12,
scoreless?
yeah.
Scoreless?
And then went scoreless. So I think he was just basically going off that hype. I'm happy with how the fans reacted. You guys talk more about that just by being at the game.
Yeah,
where
we
we
clapped.
cheered him.
Yeah.
We led the charge.
And then
you know?
as soon as he touched the ball in the game,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
smart New York fans. We're gonna boo the shit out of you if you don't have.
I mean, you have a
jersey on.
different jersey, yeah. Come
I don't think he expected anything less. You know
Yep.
what I mean? It was nice to give him that little
He said it
tribute
in the
video.
postgame, too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we're New Yorkers. We appreciated what you brought for us. You're now on the other team. You're on the enemy,
Bye.
as Cantor likes to say. You got to go, man. We jeered you.
Don't even help me up.
And then there was the loss against Charlotte.
That game was dud.
It sucks because I find it hard to actually critique this team anymore on the road. Everything that we've said, you can go back to episodes 1 and 2 of the MadGood Knicks Show. It's the same shit. Like this, they don't close out on the 3-point. They have a hard time playing defense. They're not rotating on offense, and this team looks completely different, and it's unbelievable. And against Detroit, and we'll touch on Boston real quick, but against Detroit, you thought that they had it. They were so close, and with 3 minutes left, they're up by 4.
And then that's a problem for me because that goes directly to coaching. On 2 possessions, Courtney Lee took ill-advised shots. Well, one of it wasn't a shot, but he did a pump fake and kind of threw the ball away to Porzingis with the shot clock running down. That didn't work. On another possession, he went to the basket with, I believe, 18 seconds left.
Let's talk about Melo from the left. The left.
He's been
Left.
Be easy.
I gotta turn my lights on for this one.
I don't know about you guys. I haven't seen him play this well since Kansas. I will say that.
Yeah. I have to disagree. I think he played well his rookie season.
Yeah, his rookie season. I think his 3rd season.
Bro,
too.
that was a long time ago.
Can I
in
spin
recent
off-
memory.
Can I spin off some
recent memory.
stats? I got
Go
some
ahead,
stats
spit
for
it.
you guys. I know how much we like stats.
Give us a good movie.
All right, 7 of Beasley's 10 NBA seasons, he scored in double figures, and
Makes
this,
sense, yeah.
including this season.
Minnesota being his highest.
What's that?
Minnesota
That's
being his
correct.
highest.
And then 17 minutes per game is about the lowest number that he's been playing. And right now, he's hovering right around that.
Right.
And then here's where it gets really interesting. 22.9 points per 36. That's what he's averaging this year, and that's the 2nd highest of his career.
Ooh.
So
Okay,
I think
Bees.
the easiest answer here for Michael Beasley is he needs to play consistently. He needs to have
There
a
you
better
go.
role than just being the backup scorer or like the fill-in scorer.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to have a consistent role because he's either filling in for Tim Hardaway or not, or he's filling in for KP or not.
You know what's funny about that? If I'm correct, earlier in the season he said that he's never been granted consistent minutes, and it's very true.
Yeah.
He's been filled in, kind of like slotted in, similar to this season. When a scoring punch is needed, they fill him in. That's not fair to his game. This guy is a lethal weapon. Shout out to Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, but he is a lethal weapon. And you know, he in the past 10 games, let's remove this game from the statistics, but he's been averaging 17.1 points per game in only 22 minutes. That's a walking bucket right there. This guy can flat out score, and I think Hornacek needs to do a better job, kind of like what you were saying, with consistency. He needs to keep him engaged in every single game, and whether that be, you know, get some early minutes to get him going, maybe sub KP out for him early in the first quarter to get Beasley going, but he needs to mentally be engaged, and he's one of those players that seems to struggle night in, night out, being like fully into
What I love about Beasley, especially for this season.
I know what you're saying.
Do you?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Passing?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like passing. Don't pass. You shoot. No, I think he's depended early in his career a lot of times just on that jump shot. What he was so successful with back in Kansas State was using his body, playing, you know, amongst boys. He was like a grown man.
Mellow from
now,
the left. Like that.
I'm sure you guys have noticed as well, he's actually backing people down. He's utilizing more tools
fadeaways
that he has in his arsenal. And he's actually utilizing those on a very big stage.
I think our good friend and fan of the show, Ben Lyons, said it best when he described Beasley as a guy from outer space.
Yeah.
Like there's you can't sum up what he does outside of like, he's obviously a great scorer, but you can't even call him a great scorer because he's not consistent to be that. But he just does things that sometimes are out of this fucking world.
Yeah, it's true, man.
Putting up 31 points in one game and 6 points the next. So the correlation between that, and let's talk about KP real quick, is that KP had 1 point to Beasley's 31. And then
32.
against Detroit, he had 6 points to KP's 29.
Not as strapped in, huh?
I'm strapped in. I'm strapped in.
No, I think maybe
We're actually gonna play that clip for you. Real quick.
there's a mental thing where it's like knowing that essentially the ball's going to work through him or he's a focal point in the offense.
He needs to keep him engaged.
But bro, I don't know. I think personally it's like you're a professional. You need to be ready for whenever. Yes, I do know as a coach and you know, just like as a manager and stuff like that, you manage people differently and you need to know how to go about managing them.
You know how that works, right?
Of course. But at the end of the day though, you're a professional. You just need to be aware, sharp, and ready to go, which I have to say he was a few days ago when we called upon his number.
Well, let me tell you this. Beasley's not a rookie, right? He's not a first, second, third-year player.
Correct.
We know who this guy is. He's been consistent in that aspect of his lack of consistency. Yes, exactly. So at this point in time, you're saying he's a professional, that he needs to find a way to be engaged. Yeah, but coaches know who he is as a player now. They need to help him find a way to stay engaged. He is a weapon to any team. Utilize him to their max potential. You know, and it's a shame that Beasley gets, like I said earlier, slotted into these roles where, like, yeah, we need help, we need a scoring punch, get out there and score. It's like, bro, let him work some of the offense around him. Let him be a instrumental piece to this team. You know, it's not fair to him. But I love what he's been doing as a
I don't know, man.
At home.
At home, yeah.
Kristaps, you guys worried about his 1 point output?
No.
I think
I'm not. It was
Boston's
his first game back.
I think he was rusty. I think
Boston's
maybe there was still maybe a
kryptonite.
little bit of pain still. Who knows?
Boston's his kryptonite.
Well, that's not to mention, you know, it's hard to hate on KP now because, as we've seen, he was injured. Yes, don't get me wrong. But he's becoming a full-fledged New Yorker now. I mean, my man was posted up on his whip, Timbo's out. He was grinding, man. He even got the whole squad custom Tims.
He did.
Okay, but look at the back of him. Look at the back.
Okay,
Wait, take the other one out. Take the other one out. On the back. Look at the back.
LT42.
And look at the tongue. Look at the tongue.
He did.
And hey, that's not something that any NBA
You
player
gotta
does.
love how much
you know?
he's embracing New York, and it's
How
seen.
could you not?
Like, and how could you not, indeed? But the other thing that's slightly worrisome, I don't want to be worried about this, but his extracurricular activities are getting to me.
Jen
just a
Salter,
bit.
we're looking at you.
Just a bit, and posting up outside the club. I'm not saying, don't go out there and have fun. Just, try to keep a low profile, because New York can eat you up and chew you out like no other, KP.
That's true, man.
He's
It's hard to keep a low profile.
He's been a
when you're
professional
7'3",
for a
though.
while. Also, he comes from Europe, where you get to do a lot of these things at a much younger age.
But he was a
I don't
professional
think
in Europe.
he's-
I think he had a complete.
Yeah, but I'm saying the whole even going out thing, like just in Europe, the lifestyle is different. Only here in America is like taboo, and you have to wait to 21 to do certain things. Jen, just be like, unless you score 36, you're not doing that thing I know you like. Hey, come on, Jen. Help us out. Help him out.
All right, since this is a condensed episode, I'm just going to go through the players. Let me know your guys' quick 1 to 2 sentence thoughts.
Sentence, one
Lance
word.
Thomas, last couple games?
He's been consistent. He's been playing fairly good defense and, hitting some threes.
Should he be
when
starting?
need be. Yeah, continue to start, you know.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Ennis Canner. Jay, let's start with you.
Playing hard. Continue to play hard. Give your heart out, man.
He had a great game against the Pistons. Unfortunately, we fell short, but he had another double-double. Mr. Consistency for the Knicks. I love what he's doing. Keep going.
And go ahead, President Turkey. Come get him now.
Oh, yeah. Come get him.
Yeah, okay.
How dare you.
So, Jared Jack, this is an interesting one because I'm already reading posts of Frank Stark. Is Jack put up dud today? No.
Agreed.
No. Jack can set up the offense. And that's not to say Frank doesn't deserve to start. I think he's slowly etching himself as a starter. But let's not rush this process.
I forgot which game it was where Jack got the inbound and he waited for a player, I think it was the OKC game, to come up against him and bump him. And it was a foul. That just shows the veteran leadership.
Move,
Yep.
Frank wouldn't know to do that.
Right.
Courtney Lee. He's another
It's
one
hard
that's
to talk about
starting
him.
to become a little inconsistent.
It's hard to talk about him after the Pistons game. Those last few possessions, man, it rubbed me the wrong way.
Stay aggressive.
He put up 16, 5, and 4. So
Bro,
I mean, he's still putting up numbers.
Stay aggressive. You got the green light.
Dylan McDermott.
Shoot.
Yep. Dylan. Doug McDermott.
Cut.
Can we put
do
a
what you
side
gotta
by
do.
side of Dylan and Doug, please?
McBuckets.
We just gonna change it. I'm gonna just call him Dougie from now on.
Bro,
Dougie
shoot,
from now.
cut, keep doing it.
I think, yeah, he solidified that we won the Melo trade.
Damn, yo, we not even midway into the season. We won.
I think he's
I'm with you though.
solidified.
I agree.
Michael Beasley, we've spoken about him. Kyle O'Quinn.
Still inconsistent,
yeah, I was gonna
but
say.
like he did have a couple of huge blocks against the
He did.
Celtics and played great defense.
He still can't play against starters. It's so weird. I said this in my critique in the compliment sandwich. He
Wait,
can't play
before the
Can
next
you
player.
stop the moving screens and shit? Like,
Oh yeah,
just stop.
those
bro.
offensive fouls are moving.
Stop
But wait,
it.
before you get to the next player, there's been a Joakim Noah sighting.
That was the next player.
I read his mind.
3 minutes, 2 rebounds.
Hey man,
Against Detroit.
good to see him out there. Yo, guys, I just want to briefly touch on this,
What?
especially on the road. Don't you think a guy like Joakim Noah would help bring some intensity and like energy to the team
Veteran
while they're on
like
the road?
that, yeah.
Why doesn't he get more burn?
Goes back to Jay's point about coaching.
Yeah.
It's a topic for another episode. Frank Ntilikina.
Keep being aggressive with that three-pointer and
Bro.
popping up.
Hey, it's showing up.
Bruh.
Yeah.
And also, the freaking defense. You're already known for that, but when you have someone like Kyrie Irving, the best ball handler, arguably saying he's
our generation,
already
yeah.
one
Maybe
of the
of
best
all time.
on-ball defenders. Frank's already one of the best on-ball defenders. Come on.
One thing I want to point out is we have not heard a thing about Dennis Smith Jr. Just putting that
Did
out.
you see that too? Kyrie, man, that defense that he showed on him, I think that was, if you could put a snapshot or a series of clips on like Frank's on-ball capabilities, the length that he showed, he had the ball, he had his hands on the ball when Kyrie was trying to do like a jab step on him.
If
He's
I'm
like,
Frank
"Not
and this is
today."
my arm and I reach this way, like I'm tickling your nose right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So the most interesting thing for me was the fact that Frank could almost premeditate some of the moves that Kyrie Irving was about to complete. Now, of course, I'm sure he was watching tape.
I heard
But these
he
are
watches
moves.
a lot of
These are moves though that Frank himself at least doesn't look like he can pull off.
Yeah.
With his ball handling. No disrespect. I'm just saying completely different levels of ball handling. But the fact that he could still stay in front of that and already premeditate, like that, I think just has like the fact, like for the American game, in terms like down in Europe, you're not seeing much of this unless you're freaking Luka Doncic.
Jared Jack said that he watches a tremendous amount of footage and tape on players, and it
Frank
shows.
does.
Yeah, Frank does, and it really showed that night. He was anticipating passes on Kyrie, like just all sorts of stuff. That was beautiful. And three-point shot, like we mentioned, is coming along great. Still has no handle, still can't get to the basket, and still can't finish.
But I feel like these are all things you can still develop, though.
Yeah, for sure. I think his handle will eventually come around. And he'll get the finish.
Ntilikina, you know Curry has a master class coming out soon on ball handling.
Does he really?
He does.
That's
It's pretty
impressive.
dope, not gonna
I
lie.
guess that's going to do it, guys. We do want to give you guys a little special treat. We got a chance to sit down
Kit
with
Kats?
Got a chance to sit down with Buster Scher, founder of Hoops Nation, the 500,000 Instagram follower behemoth of Instagram. He's the founder of it. Got a chance to sit down and chat with him, so that's going to come up next.
He likes to chat.
I like to chat. In the meantime, do want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Buster was good.
Buster, what it is right now?
Welcome back, guys. We are here with the one, the only Buster Scher. Buster, how's it going, my man?
All is well, my guy. Pumped to be on. It's going to be fun.
Thanks for joining us. So for those who don't know, you, of course, are the founder of Hoops Nation, a diehard Knick fan, native New Yorker. Us here at the MadGood Knicks Show, we do thoroughly respect those thoroughbred New Yorkers and moreover Knicks fans. So first and foremost, man, talk to me a little bit about Hoops Nation.
Yeah, it's a basketball social media outlet, essentially focused on the players and the fans and actually connecting with them. So unlike the ESPNs of the world, I'm not going to be bashing players. I'm not going to be trashing them. Rather, I'm going to be trying to connect with them and help promote everybody, really.
Let's talk about the Knicks.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they just dropped a game against the Pistons. KP came back. There's good news there, right? You know, he showed up with 29 points. Beasley didn't put up the same 30-31 that he did the other game, but overall thoughts on the Knicks this year? Yeah, overall thoughts.
I have no complaints on the New York Knicks. If they make the playoffs, I'm happy. Now, do I expect them to go to the Eastern Conference Finals this year or next year for that matter? Probably not, unless the KP can convince his friend LeBron to come over. All in all, if the Knicks make the playoffs, I'm happy.
Now, do you think that, would you as a fan be happier with a, say, top 5 pick in the upcoming draft versus a round 1 exit? Maybe go 6 games.
Now, I would have, if you had asked me 6 to 8 months ago, I would have said top 5 pick, but right now I think it's so much more important that the Knicks actually prove a point so that they can hit free agency harder instead of just continuing to rely on a 4-year player. Which is the contract they would end up getting from a top 5 pick. So I say, like, you got Porzingis, you got your guy, you got Frank, you got him, you got Beasley who's performing well. Beasley right now is what LeBron thought he was getting in Miami, but he never got.
Buster, not only did you start Hoops Nation, you've got your podcast and you do a whole bunch of YouTube videos. We'll share that at the end. Very, very quickly, because I found it very interesting. New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals?
No. Soon. My main point in that, and my main point here once again is the Knicks being in Madison Square Garden since Dolan has stepped like a tiny bit further away from the Knicks franchise have so much greater free agency pull, times the caliber of potential in Porzingis and Frank and just the MSG atmosphere.
Buster, this isn't the first time you and I are speaking. Check out the Buster Scher podcast. It's on Apple iTunes. Buster and I had about a 15 to 20 minute long conversation about the Knicks, talking about Carmelo Anthony. Definitely go check that out. We're going to post the link below in the description. Buster, from a Knicks fan standpoint, because this is the MadGood Knicks Show, I want to get your take.
Yes.
Favorite Knick of all time?
David Lee by a mile.
My guy. Oh my God. Yes.
A mile. And literally the moment I became a Knicks fan, I don't know if you remember, inbound alley-oop tip game winner.
One of the most memorable Knick moments of all time. That came from Jamal Crawford out of bounds, I think, right? About 0.3 seconds left on the clock. All you could do is tip it in. No, I love it, man. I love it. All right, favorite game of all time or most memorable Knick moment?
I was at Melo's 62, so that has to be it. That has to be it.
Again, if you want to hear more conversation between us two, check out Buster Scher's podcast on Apple iTunes. Link is below. Buster, where else can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Buster Scher or at Hoops Nation for the basketball fans, and on YouTube, Buster Scher.
Awesome. Buster, thanks for joining us.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, big guy.
What's up, guys? This is your boy TK, a.k.a. John Legend, as you guys know. I want to thank you guys for watching. And please make sure you do subscribe. And if you like what you saw from previous episodes, or if you just like our faces, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. But wait, please hit that like, comment, and share as well. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.